All right, and good evening, everybody, and we are live. Welcome to the second video for 2017 on this channel. And today you guys are getting a bit of a 2-for-1 special. Today I will be giving you guys both my predictions for NXT TakeOver San Antonio and WWE Royal Rumble 2017. I'm on a little bit of a time crunch this week, so I decided I'd just knock out both videos in the same both sets of predictions in the same video. So I'm going to give you, like I said, both TakeOver San Antonio and Royal Rumble predictions. And I'm really going to time myself, guys. I'm going to try and keep this whole video under an hour or an hour at the most. But like with regards to the predictions, I'm going to try and keep TakeOver predictions to about 20 minutes at the most, and then Royal Rumble to 30. Because I know Royal Rumble has more matches than San Antonio. So let's not waste any time, guys. Let's start off with NXT TakeOver San Antonio. Of course, both of these events, TakeOver San Antonio and Royal Rumble, are live on the WWE Network. TakeOver San Antonio is tomorrow night. And I'm always excited for the NXT TakeOver specials. You know, when it comes to an NXT TakeOver special, you know you're always going to get a good to great show. But one thing that I have to bring up is something that, you know, Delexman and Aaron Riff brought up in their prediction videos, and that is the fact that this NXT TakeOver special doesn't have that that big feel to it. You know, the other NXT TakeOver specials in the past, Toronto, back to Brooklyn, Dallas, the inaugural Brooklyn TakeOver, they've all had big feels to them. This one doesn't have much of a big feel. However, I'm still excited for it because, you know, like I said, it's going to be mostly a good to great show. When you look at the card is pretty solid for the most part. But I totally get what they're saying, that this doesn't feel like a big TakeOver special. But still, I think this will be a good to great show. So we kick off the predictions with Roderick Strong versus Andrade Cien Almas. Of course, this will be Roderick Strong's NXT TakeOver debut. And I'm going to pick him to win this match right off the bat. I mean, he just signed with NXT not too long ago, and he debuted. You know, he's won a couple matches on NXT TV so far. I see no reason why Andrade is going to beat him. So I'm picking Roderick Strong to win. You know, Andrade, I like him, and I like what he's been doing as a heel, because I don't feel like he did anything noteworthy when he was a face. You know, he's a good wrestler, he's a good luchador, but he wasn't doing anything that was really catching my eye when he was a face. So as a heel, I feel like Andrade is more cocky, he's a little more arrogant. I like it. It gives his character a little something that it was missing, but I don't see him beating Roderick Strong. You know, the thing with Andrade, I'm just going to bring this up real quick, is that, and this is something that Jeff Meacham said in the predictions video with Aaron Riff, is that when they were hyping Andrade's debut last year, they really hyped him up like the next big thing, so to speak, in NXT. And when you hype someone up that big, you have to deliver. And the thing was, it didn't really deliver. You know, when he debuted, they put him up against, of all people, Ty Dillinger, and you want to get they were trying to push him as babyface at the time, Andrade, but you're putting him up against Ty Dillinger, who at the time, and still is to this day, over with the crowd as hell. The Perfect 10 gimmick is over as hell. The 10 chants are awesome. And that was just a big mistake, putting him up against Ty Dillinger, because who's really going to root against Ty Dillinger? So, you know, he wasn't really doing much as a face. He's been doing well as a heel. But I don't see him beating Roderick Strong in this match. I feel like they're going to push Roddy Strong, and then maybe in the summertime at NXT TakeOver back Brooklyn 3, they will give him a shot at the NXT Championship. So I pick Roderick Strong to win. Speaking of Ty Dillinger, he is the subject of our next matchup, which is Ty Dillinger versus Eric Young. I don't want to say that this match is random, but I see where they're going with this match, because, of course, Eric Young is the leader of Sanity. They're doing good things with Sanity so far. I see they're trying to build them up as a dominant faction. So they're going to, you know, the best way to, you know, get Eric Young over, or to give him a good push, would be to start by having him go over somebody like Ty Dillinger. Now, of course, there's question about Ty Dillinger. Will he debut in the Royal Rumble? Is he coming up to the main roster anytime soon? I'll talk more about that when I get to the Royal Rumble predictions, and in particular the Royal Rumble match. You know, with Ty Dillinger, I pitched this idea to like Daniel Gaiza and Gene and Mike when we did the Royal Rumble 30-man predictions video, that I would like to see Ty Dillinger have one more. Like, I'd like to have him see him have a shot at the NXT Championship before he comes up to the main roster. Have him do a feud with Bobby. Well, I don't want to say Bobby Roode, but let's just say with the NXT champion, whoever that may be, come NXT TakeOver Orlando during WrestleMania weekend, and have it be a a do or die match for Ty Dillinger, title versus career, not necessarily in WWE, but just his time in NXT. And the things that Ty Dillinger and Bobby Roode were doing, their feud was great. Some great storytelling, some great emotion in it. I would like to see Ty Dillinger have one shot at the NXT Championship before he gets called up to the main roster. Hell, run with the NXT Championship. That'd be great. The perfect 10 NXT champion. But with regards to a prediction, because I do think this could be Ty Dillinger's last, or one of his last matches with NXT, I'm going to go with Eric Young. I would like to see Ty Dillinger get the win, but they are doing things with Eric Young and Sanity. They want to push Sanity strong. So I'm going to go with Eric Young, because the best way to get him over is to put him over against someone like Ty Dillinger. But I got a feeling in San Antonio is going to be a red-hot Ty Dillinger crowd. So I love Ty. I'd love to see him get a shot at the NXT Championship, but I'm going to go with Eric Young to win. Next up, we have the NXT Tag Team Championship match. Hashtag DIY defending against Authors of Pain. This one, okay. At first, when this was announced, I said, okay, I believe hashtag DIY is going to win this. Well, not hashtag DIY. I predicted Authors of Pain were going to win this because they've been unstoppable since they debuted at NXT TakeOver the End. They won the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. They've just been a dominant monster heel team. So you want to keep that momentum going and everything. So the logical move would be to give Authors of Pain the NXT Tag Team Championships. On the other hand, Gargano and Ciampa are so freaking over with the crowd. They are red hot at the moment, and I don't know if NXT really wants to kill that momentum and, cut their reign short. So this one's kind of hard for me to predict. The Revival, I was honestly thinking that this would be a triple threat match between hashtag DIY, Authors of Pain, and the Revival. And then either DIY could retain by pinning the Revival, or Authors of Pain could win the championships by pinning the Revival, and then DIY and Authors of Pain do their feud at NXT TakeOver Orlando. But since it's just, hashtag DIY versus Authors of Pain, this one is hard for me to predict because, like I said, I first thought AOP was gonna win. Then I thought hashtag DIY was gonna win. With how hot, with the momentum they have as tag team champions. So this one's kind of hard for me to predict. Because I could see AOP winning the championships. I could see hashtag DIY retaining the championships. I could see AOP getting DQ'd somehow, like just by manhandling and roughhousing hashtag DIY and not listening to the referee's count. Like, I could see that happening so that neither team looks weak. And then you do the rematch at NXT TakeOver Orlando where it's like a street fight or something, no holds barred. So, because NXT really doesn't do DQ finishes or count out finishes. So what they might do is have hashtag DIY win by, like, I'm not going to say a fluke, but they might pull off some, like, they might be close to losing and then they catch the Authors of Pain off guard. Like think Cena and Umaga from 2007 when Cena first beat Umaga. They might do something like that. And then Authors of Pain, invoke a rematch clause, and Paul Ellering chooses a stipulation where where this time it won't, hashtag DIY is going to have to prove that it wasn't a fluke. And it could be like no holds barred or tag team elimination or tornado tag, something like that, or maybe even no disqualification. So I don't know, because with TM61, you know, with Shane Thorne out of action and TM61 pretty much on the sidelines until Shane Thorne recovers from injury, I really don't see Revival turning face and challenging #DIY. I mean, I could see Revival coming out and attacking all 4 guys, and then we get a triple threat at NXT TakeOver Orlando. But just to make a prediction, I'm going to predict, I'll go with #DIY to retain by like some miracle, and then we get a rematch at NXT TakeOver Orlando where it's in Authors of Pain's favor, and I think Authors of Pain take the championships there. So I don't necessarily think AOP not winning will hurt their momentum if like a miracle win is booked properly, but I'm going to go with #DIY to win by like a slim margin or something. So I'll go with Gargano and Ciampa to retain. Next, we have the Fatal 4-Way for the NXT Women's Championship. Asuka defending against Billie Kay, Peyton Royce, and Nikki Cross. I'm picking Asuka. I see no reason why she should lose the NXT Women's Championship. But I do want to see Billie Kay and Peyton Royce and Nikki Cross have a strong showing in this match. I'm sure it'll be a good match. You know, all the women will get their spots in. This match will get the right amount of time. So I'm gonna pick. Well, I mean, Asuka's obviously gonna retain because I don't see anybody here dethroning her tomorrow night. I don't see Billie Kay winning. I don't see Peyton Royce winning. But I do want to see them eventually be bred and pushed to be future NXT Women's Champions. Now, Nikki Cross, I could see her as the wild card and the dark horse in this match. I mean, I know Nikki Cross from her time on the independent circuit as Nikki Storm, the best in the galaxy. So I personally think Nikki's going to really be the one to benefit from this kind of a match. Like, she's going to really go out there and shine. I think this is ultimately going to set up an Asuka-Nikki Cross match at NXT TakeOver Orlando, because obviously the one that's going to most likely dethrone Asuka is going to be Ember Moon. They're still building her up little by little as the next contender. So in the meantime, I feel like what's going to happen is Asuka and Nikki Cross, like Nikki Cross is going to really take it to Asuka, and she's just going to go crazy on Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. And then what's going to happen is like Asuka is like close to losing, but then she finds a way to win. Like, she's gonna pin Billie Kay or Peyton Royce, and Nikki Cross can come out and say, well, you pinned them, but you didn't pin me, and I came the closest to beating you. So then you can start doing Asuka versus Nikki Cross. So I think it'll be an awesome match at NXT TakeOver Orlando. So this one's not hard to predict. I'm picking Asuka to retain the championship. I hope Billie Kay and Peyton Royce get a chance to shine, have a breakout moment in this match. Nikki Cross, I'm really looking forward to seeing what she does. But I think the best way to go after this match is going into NXT TakeOver Orlando during WrestleMania weekend. You build up to Asuka versus Nikki Cross for the NXT Women's Championship. And then at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, you do the eventual Asuka Ember Moon clash, and that's when Ember Moon becomes the NXT champion. So that's when ultimately Asuka will fall. But I have a video that I do want to do after NXT TakeOver San Antonio, talking about a certain what if regarding Asuka. I'll save that for when I actually get to the video. But prediction, Asuka to retain the NXT Women's Championship. And lastly, the main event being billed the biggest money match in NXT history, the NXT Championship on the line. The NXT Champion Shinsuke Nakamura defending his title against not just any challenger, but the glorious challenger, the glorious one, Bobby Roode. And like Jeff Meacham and Aaron Riff said, this is going to be the match with, that's going to be all about the entrances. These two guys have two of the most popular themes in NXT. It is just going to be really exciting to see who's going to have the better entrance. Nakamura has had violinist perform his theme. Bobby Roode descended from the heavens once. Then he had a choir sing his theme. So it's going to be really interesting to see what these guys bring to the table with regards to entrances. The entrances may go a freaking 15-20 minutes, and then you're going to have the match itself. I'm excited to see what these guys are going to bring to the table with regards to entrances. I'm excited to see what they bring to the table with regards to the match. Now, as far as a prediction for this match goes, With this match, I think with how over Bobby Roode is, I think it's time. This is the time where you need to strike while the kettle's hot. Nakamura regaining the NXT Championship from Samoa Joe in Japan, I think was done because it was in Japan. Nakamura's, home, his birth country, and they wanted to give him that nice homecoming, that nice homecoming. They wanted to give him that special moment at home, But I think the other reason it was done was because they didn't want to do heel Bobby Roode versus heel Samoa Joe, so they chose, of course, Nakamura. And I personally thought that Joe and Nakamura would have ended their feud here. I thought it would have been a last man standing match, and then Joe goes on to make his pretty much what is that word? His inevitable debut at the Royal Rumble. And then Nakamura goes on the field with Bobby Roode. But we're getting this early on, earlier than, like I said, I expected. I'm going to pick Bobby Roode to win the championship. I think, with AOP and hashtag DIY, I don't know if NXT is ready to give Authors of Pain the NXT Tag Team Championships. I mean, they are a strong, dominant team. They're undefeated. But I don't know if tomorrow night's going to be their night. With Bobby Roode, I think this is the right moment to give him the NXT Championship. Because what else are you going to do with him? What else? If it was Joe versus Nakamura, what else would you do with Bobby Roode? One more match with Ty Dillinger, loser leaves NXT. Or have him, because he beat No Way Jose. He beat Andrade, Cien, Almas. He beat Ty Dillinger. He beat Oney Lorcan. Who else is there really to put him up against other than, pretty much Nakamura? I mean, yeah, if Joe and Nakamura had one more match here, who would you have Bobby Roode fight? So this is the right time to give Bobby Roode the championship. I mean, I think, you got to strike when the kettle's hot, and it's hot. Roode is one of the most over guys in the company. So is Nakamura. I mean, the build-up to this match has been good with, Bobby Roode giving Tom Phillips that ticket to NXT Dallas to give to Nakamura. I thought that was really cool because I've never seen anything like that done in wrestling. And I mean, NXT TakeOver Dallas was where it all began for these guys. Nakamura made his in-ring debut against Sami Zayn. Bobby Roode was sitting front row. And from there, Nakamura, he just took off on a rocket and became one of the hottest rock stars in NXT. Bobby Roode then made his debut. He's been doing well. He took off as well. So here we are at this collision course where it's Nakamura and Bobby Roode for the NXT Championship. I got to go with Bobby Roode. I don't think Nakamura is going to become a 3-time NXT champion. I think the way it's going to go is Roode's going to win with like some kind of screwy finish, some kind of screwy shenanigans. And then Nakamura will get a rematch at NXT TakeOver Orlando. And then you do, the rematch with like a stipulation. And then Roode beats him in that. And then Nakamura will probably have one more match in NXT and then go up to the main roster. Now, the other thing that I was thinking about is, where does Cassius Ohno play a role in this? Because he came back to NXT not too long ago. And he made his intentions clear. He wants the NXT Championship. And that was not even televised. So I have to believe that Ohno is somehow going to get thrown into the mix here. I don't know how. Maybe they'll do a triple threat in NXT TakeOver Orlando. But, I mean, I don't see why Nakamura should retain. I know he won the belt like 2 months, like maybe a month ago in Japan. But I think it's time to give Bobby Roode the championship. Because what else is Bobby Roode going to do without, what else is he going to do other than pursue the NXT championship? I mean, like I said, what I personally like to see is Roode win the championship. Ty Dillinger beat Eric Young. Then Dillinger becomes the #1 contender for the NXT championship. You could do Nakamura and Ohno at NXT TakeOver Orlando. And on the same card, you do Bobby Roode defending the NXT championship against Ty Dillinger. And this time, if Bobby Roode beats Ty Dillinger, that's it for Ty Dillinger. He leaves NXT. So it's pretty much do or die. It's title versus career in NXT. So that's what I'd love to see. But either way, I'm going with Bobby Roode to win the NXT Championship because I honestly don't see why Nakamura should retain. And like I said, I'm interested in seeing where Cassius Ohno may play a role. Maybe he's going to come out and cost Nakamura the title, or maybe he's going to come out and get and interfere, and then we get a triple threat. Because like I said, NXT is not known for doing they don't do many DQ finishes at their takeovers. So it's probably going to be it'll probably be that. But as far as the prediction is concerned, I'm going with Bobby Roode to win the NXT Championship and make it glorious for the rest of 2017. So those are my predictions for NXT TakeOver San Antonio, guys. Now we're going to move on to my Royal Rumble 2017 predictions. Now, going into this show, you know, I always look forward to the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, particularly the Royal Rumble match, because it's one of the most exciting matches of the year. You never know who's going to show up. In certain cases, you never know who's going to win, or you do know who's going to win, and it kind of kills some of the excitement and the suspense of the Royal Rumble match. But overall, I am looking forward to watching Sunday's show. You know, the matches that Raw has to offer, I really don't really care much about, except for one. And that's a damn shame, because when you look at some of the matches on this card that I'm going to get to, they have potential to be good to great, of course. But I haven't watched Raw in more than a month, and I just do not care because they're not giving us a product that's worth watching. You know, and I hate the fact that a lot of my favorites are on Raw, and a lot of them are not getting the good to great booking they deserve. So as far as the pay-per-view is concerned, it is 4 hours, which for the Royal Rumble, I don't think it needs to be 4 hours. WrestleMania, of course, needs to be 4 hours. SummerSlam, that needs to go back to 3 hours. Survivor Series, that needs to go back to 3 hours. The only show that really deserves to be 4 hours, guys, is WrestleMania. Because Survivor Series at 4 hours, good show, but could have been better. And I was disappointed. SummerSlam, good show, disappointed, however. Did not utilize the 4 hours well. And then Royal Rumble, like, we'll see how things play out with regards to the 4 hours and everything. But let's get down to predictions. So, 2-hour kickoff show. Fuck us. All right. First match, Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax. Of course, this has been stemming from when Nia Jax beat up Sasha Banks shortly after, I think it was actually the night after Roadblock, when Sasha lost the Raw Women's Championship to Charlotte in the Iron Woman match. I'm going to pick Nia Jax to win. I love Sasha Banks. And if the plan for WrestleMania is Sasha versus Bayley, well, then, of course, you want to have Sasha Banks win. And you want to push her strong. You want to build her strong, build her up strong and everything. But I just don't see Sasha Banks winning this. And I haven't seen anything from this feud other than Sasha getting beat down by Nia. So I'm just going to go with Nia Jax to win, because they haven't really done much with Nia. And if you want to establish her as a future women's champion, well, then I guess you got to start by putting her over against somebody as respected and credible as Sasha Banks. So I'll go with Nia Jax to win. Could I see Sasha Banks winning? Yeah, but it's Raw, so anything can happen, and that's really not a good thing. So I'm just going to go with Nia Jax to win. Next, we have the Raw Tag Team Championship match. Cesaro and Sheamus defending against Luke Gallows and Karl Anderson. And in this match, because of the screwy finish of the last match these guys had, there will be 2 referees. So, you know, Gallows and Anderson deserve so much. They deserve much better booking. I mean, when they came in, they were red hot. They were just kicking ass and taking names. And when they, when they reunited with AJ Styles, it was awesome. And then they got separated in the draft, and just things have not gone their way. They have fallen off so hard since the brand split. And honestly, I thought Gallows and Anderson would have been a much more dominant team by now, with the draft. But the draft really hurt them. They should have never been separated from AJ Styles. They should be on SmackDown right now with those SmackDown Tag Team Championships while AJ holds the WWE Championship. I I really want Gallows and Anderson to win, but with how they've been booked, I don't even think they're going to win. I think Cesaro and Sheamus are going to win. It's a damn shame to see Gallows and Anderson not get the booking they deserve when they were such dominant champs in freaking New Japan Pro Wrestling. And then they came to WWE and they freaking, you know, they were on a roll when they first got here. They were beating up the Usos or beating up other guys, and then they got together. They reunited with AJ Styles and they feuded with John Cena, and everything was going well there. And then freaking after the draft, it just went downhill from there. And it just, I'm just gonna pick Cesaro and Sheamus to win. See, I can't pick I want Gallows and Anderson to win, and I hope they do win, but I can't pick them to win with how they've been booked. I mean, this is just, unless the ref screws Cesaro and Sheamus over, I've lost faith. I just have no hope. I love Gallows and Anderson. They deserve better. They should be on SmackDown, but without having been booked, I don't see them winning. So I'm going to pick Cesaro and Sheamus. And it's a shame. You can tell I'm not looking forward to this. I'm not happy with my prediction. But it's a damn shame. I mean, they just don't know how to book certain people right on Raw. So I picked Cesaro and Sheamus to retain. Excuse me. Now, moving on to the main show, we start off with the Cruiserweight Championship match. Rich Swann defending against Neville. Now, this is really the only match from Raw that I'm looking forward to because of Neville turning heel. You know, Neville turning heel was very much needed. You know, Daniel Gaiza and I, before Roadblock, we're going to do a video about how Neville was the man that created Forgot, how he deserved better booking and everything, how he has just become so irrelevant since joining the main roster. He was not part of the Cruiserweight Classic. And then he returns to Roadblock. He beats up TJP, he beats up Rich Swann, and he turns heel. And we just dropped the video from there because Neville turning heel was needed. He needed to turn heel, and he needed to be a part of the Cruiserweight division. And since then, he's been beating the hell out of every Cruiserweight that's gotten in his path. I don't know what happened with him and Cedric Alexander. I assume he beat Cedric Alexander, because why would you have him lose days before the Royal Rumble when he's challenging for the Cruiserweight Championship? I love his heel promos where he's fed up with not being involved in the Cruiserweight Classic. He wasn't involved in the UK Championship tournament. He feels like he's being discriminated against. I love it. He's great. He's doing great as a heel. I love his aggression. I'm picking Neville to win. If they don't give Neville the Cruiserweight Championship, they turn him heel for no freaking reason. That was a waste of a heel turn. You know, Neville needs to win the Cruiserweight Championship. And one thing that I remember was he said that because he's a Cruiserweight and a lot of those guys are smaller, you know, they're 205 pounds and under, he said that beating that division is going to be a cakewalk. So you know what I think would be great to further establish him as a monster, not a monster, but as a strong heel champion on Raw? You have him win the championship. Then the next night on Raw or the following night on 205 Live, he comes out. He has a match, say against one of the Bollywood boys. He beats one of the Bollywood boys in a squash. Like, beats him in under a minute. Then the following week, he beats the other half of the Bollywood boys. He beats them in under a minute. And then he faces, like, let's say, a Mustafa Ali. And he beats Mustafa Ali in, like, 2-3 minutes. Let's have Neville, like, beat the Cruiserweights one by one in short amount of time. So, like, when it comes to the Bollywood boys who, like, let's be realistic. They're on the main roster. They be jobbers. Have Neville beat those guys in, like, under a minute. Then when he fights somebody like Mustafa Ali, who they're building up, he's a little more credible, have Neville beat him in, like, 2-3 minutes. You know, 4 minutes maybe. And then as he keeps facing tougher competition, have him beat him in, like, longer times. But when it comes to, like, the guys that you know aren't even a threat to him, have him beat those guys in, like, under 2 or 3 minutes, you know. And that would be a great way to establish him. And then you build up somebody like a Cedric Alexander or Jack Gallagher or Akira Tozawa, and you send them after Neville, and then Neville has to face his match, you know, at WrestleMania or SummerSlam or whatever. But other than that, I'm picking Neville to win. He has to win. I don't see why they would have Rich Swann retain the championship. I love Swann, but he does not need the championship. You know, Neville needs it. Neville's proclaimed himself the king of the Cruiserweights. He needs that title to solidify that claim, because if they don't give him the championship, they wasted the heel turn. So I'm picking Neville to win. If he does not win Sunday night, I will be pissed because I love Neville. I've always felt like he could have been a top star. They haven't pushed him like that yet. He is the heel. He's on the verge of becoming Cruiserweight champion. If they fuck it all up, I'll be pissed. So I'm picking Neville to win. Next up, the Raw Women's Championship match. Charlotte defending against Bayley. Okay, this should feel special because it's Charlotte and Bayley fighting for the Raw Women's Championship. This should feel special. They're fighting for the Raw Women's Championship on the main roster. It should feel special. But they fought 4 or 5 times on Raw, and it does not feel special when you keep repeating the same match over and over again. So I hate to say this because I love Charlotte, I love Bayley, but I'm not excited for this match. They've done it 4 or 5 other times. Why would you give it away on free TV? Who's going to be invested in it if you give it away on free TV? Why do I have any reason to believe Bayley's going to beat Charlotte when they fought 4 times and I forgot what the record is? You know, what's the score so far in this feud? You know, I hate that Raw, and I'm going to, and especially with the freaking world title match they have to offer, the Universal title match, I hate when Raw does the same match over and over again, and then when it comes to pay-per-view, it just feels like overkill. It doesn't feel special. They've wasted it. So I love Bayley. She deserves better booking and direction on Raw. Just Charlotte's doing fine, but she could be doing better. I see no reason other than Neville knocking off Rich Swann to believe a challenger is going to dethrone the champion because of how Raw has booked their champions. You know, I don't see Cesaro and Sheamus losing. I don't see Charlotte losing. There's my prediction right there. I see no reason why Charlotte should lose. I mean, if she loses, Bayley's going to have the championship. And then, of course, they're going to do Sasha versus Bayley, hopefully, at WrestleMania. And you cannot fuck that up by having it 4 or 5 times on the main roster. On Raw, I mean. Excuse me if I'm sniffling. My nose feels a little stuffed. Yeah, I mean, I see no reason why Bayley should win because freaking Bayley and Charlotte have wrestled like 4 or 5 times. I think Charlotte has the advantage in wins over Bayley. So I see no reason to believe why Bayley's gonna win. That's a damn shame because this is Bayley. How could Raw fuck up Bayley, the most beloved wrestler in the company, the most beloved wrestler in NXT? How could they fuck her up in terms of booking and direction? You know? So I see no reason why Bayley should win, and that's a damn shame because I love Bayley. She's a great women's wrestler. They should have only wrestled maybe once on Raw, and then Bayley, or maybe do it a second time on Raw because Charlotte feels like it's a fluke, and then Bayley says, "I'll wrestle you. Sure, you want a rematch with me? It's on, but if I beat you this time, I want a Raw Women's Championship match." And then you keep them away from each other. Yeah, Bayley keep beating other women on the roster, like Alicia Fox, like Summer Rae, who God knows where she's been. And then you do Charlotte versus Bayley, and you have that question of if Bayley can do it one more time. Then I'd be more invested. But I think Charlotte's beaten Bayley more times than Bayley's beaten Charlotte. So I'm just going to say Charlotte's going to retain. And that's a damn shame. I should be excited for this match. Now, I'm not saying it's not going to be a good match. It has the potential to be a great. I always say this, but it doesn't feel as special as it should. So Charlotte versus Bayley, I'm predicting Charlotte's going to win. Would they do it? No, I shouldn't do another triple threat. Why the hell? That's stupid. So Charlotte to win. I could see Bayley winning, but I'm going with Charlotte. I'm not even going to bother talking about this match anymore. Charlotte to win. Now, moving on to a women's match I do care about. From SmackDown, we have a 6-woman tag team match. Nikki Bella, Becky Lynch, and Naomi versus Natalya, Alexa Bliss, and Mickie James. I'm looking forward to this match. I like how it brings the feuds together that have been happening on SmackDown. I honestly thought it would have been Nikki Bella versus Natalya. But if they're saving it for Elimination Chamber, like a no disqualification match or last woman standing, I'm totally fine with that. That's what I love about SmackDown. They make matches like that matter. And, you know, back in the day, early on in the summer during the draft, we were always getting women's tag matches. And it seemed like we were getting the same women's tag matches. But SmackDown manages to use their women more properly than Raw does. Wow. The division that has less women, the brand with less talent, manages to use their talent more properly and wisely than Raw does. Wow. That's all I have to say about that. But anyway, I'm looking forward to this match. At first I thought the faces would win, Team Nikki. But I think Team Natalya is going to win this match. I think the heels winning puts a little more heat on them and, you know, takes the feuds that we're going to see at Elimination Chamber, like Nikki versus Natalya and most likely Becky Lynch versus Mickie James. I think that puts that adds a little more fuel to the fire for their feuds, so that makes their matches more relevant and exciting. And again, like I said on I don't know if I said this in one of the live streams I did with Daniel Guys in the group. And by the way, we're calling ourselves the 4 Horsemen of the YWC. I'm throwing up the 4. You can't see it, I know, but anyway. I said that when the crowd was chanting, "Let them fight," when Nikki Bella and Natalya had that brawl outside the ring, I was so, well, in the ring and then escalated to the outside. I was so happy for them. I was so happy for SmackDown. I was so happy for Nikki. And I was so happy for Natalya because the fans were invested in the feud. And Nikki Bella was not the most popular women's wrestler in 2015 because they kept shoving her down our throats as the longest reigning Divas champion, you know. But when you use her right, you don't force feed her to us, and we naturally grow accustomed to her, then we get behind her. So that's what I love about the SmackDown women's division. They're using the women properly. And Raw's just freaking having the same women fight again and again and again, and it's a freaking pain. That's why I'm not looking forward to a lot of the Raw matches. Hell, I'm not looking forward to any match on the Raw card except for Rich Swann versus Neville because I want to see Neville win the championship. So as far as this match is concerned, I'm gonna go with Team Natalya to win. I mean, I could see Team Nikki winning, but I think logically it's better for the heels to win in some kind of cheap, dirty fashion because that puts heat on them, and that helps add fuel to the fire toward building up to Nikki versus Natalya and most likely Becky versus Mickie at Elimination Chamber. They could do, and also they could do Naomi versus Alexa Bliss. You know, 3 women's matches on one show. How awesome would that be? You know, so we might not even get Naomi versus Alexa Bliss. We might get Fatal 4-Way at Elimination Chamber. They do Becky Lynch versus Mickie James at WrestleMania. Holy hell, I'd be down for that. So anyway, I'm picking Team Natalya to win this. I think like I said, I think the heels winning is more logic, would add more fuel to the fire of these feuds and really get us excited for what's to come in the upcoming weeks. Excuse me. Next up from Raw, we have the WWE Universal Championship match. Kevin Owens defending against Roman Reigns, and in this match, Chris Jericho will be suspended above the ring in a shark cage. You guys saw the video I made about why is WWE doing this rematch with Jericho being suspended above the shark cage. Like, why do we need to see Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns? We're seeing it practically every week on Monday Night Raw. I don't care, and that's a fucking shame because I love Kevin Owens and I love Roman Reigns, but I'm starting to get sick and tired of seeing Roman always in the main event, and I just don't like the booking that Kevin Owens has had as Universal Champion. It's not the worst, but he should be booked better than he has been as Universal Champion. So, you know, there are people that believe Reigns is going to win the championship, and then it's going to lead to Jericho versus Owens in a mid-card match at WrestleMania. I personally would have preferred that this match be Owens versus Jericho for the championship, or a fatal 4-way. A 2 out of 3 falls fatal 4-way for the WWE Universal Championship and the United States Championship, or the tag team match where the first guy to score a pinfall, walks out of the match, the WWE Universal Champion. But no, because WWE thinks we want to see it once more because that's what they know brings in big numbers. Yeah, right. They did Owens versus Reigns once again for the 50 millionth time or whatever. So I see, because I don't care about Raw and I'm not invested in Raw anymore, and I haven't seen the build up to this match other than Kevin Owens powerbombing Roman Reigns to the announce table, and Jericho beating Reigns for the United States Championship and whatever else happened. I just can't really make these. I can't really be passionate about making predictions for any Raw matches other than Rich Swann versus Neville. I just don't care. So Owens versus Reigns. Reigns might win the championship. He doesn't have the United States Championship, so that could be enough to suspect that he's going to walk out of Royal Rumble the champion. And then do a rematch at Fastlane, and Reigns retains, and then he fights whoever for the championship at WrestleMania. I'm just going to say, you know what, fuck it, because I don't care, and as much as I love Kevin Owens, I'll pick Roman Reigns to win. They'll give him the Universal Championship, and then... See, guys, I'm not even really serious about this freaking prediction because I don't even care about what the fuck Raw has to offer. I don't care about Raw anymore. So I'm just going to say Roman Reigns wins. Roman Reigns wins, and then he has to fight Jericho and Owens at freaking Fastlane in a triple threat match. And LOL, Roman wins again, and Roman goes into WrestleMania as the WWE Universal Champion because Roman Reigns has to walk into WrestleMania as a champion, and Roman has to look strong. So I just pick Roman Reigns to win. If Kevin Owens wins, I'll be so happy. That would be awesome. Kevin Owens walking in as Universal Champion, walking into WrestleMania's Universal Champion, that'd be awesome. But because I don't care about Raw, and they're probably going to freaking give Reigns the title, I'm just going to pick Roman Reigns to win. Next up, the real World Championship match that I care about, the match that everybody's looking forward to, like Daniel Bryan put it, and he's right, because this is the match that everybody, including myself, is looking forward to. For the WWE Championship, the champion, AJ Styles, defending against the challenger, John Cena. This is going to be an awesome match. This is going to blow Owens versus Reigns and anything else Raw has to offer out the water. This is going to prove why SmackDown has the superior champion and why there's the superior brand and whatnot. This is going to be a freaking awesome match. And I want to make one bold but emphatic comparison. When I did my Royal Rumble Moments video with Gene and Mike, Gene and I talked about the Royal Rumble match between the Royal Rumble 2003 WWE Championship match between Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit. And I brought up the fact that when you looked at what Raw had to offer as a world title match that year, which was Triple H versus Scott Steiner for the World Heavyweight Championship. And then you look at what SmackDown had to offer. SmackDown offered the superior championship match. And Angle and Benoit stole the freaking show and blew Triple H versus Scott Steiner out of the water. Fast forward 14 years later, you have Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns, which, I'm going to be fair, if given the right amount of time, no screwy finishes and whatnot, this could be a good to great match. It could be a lot better than Triple H versus Scott Steiner. But 14 years later, Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship is Raw's world title match. AJ Styles versus John Cena for the WWE Championship is SmackDown's world title match. SmackDown's going to blow Raw out the water again with their world title match. This match, AJ Styles versus John Cena, is the Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit of Royal Rumble in terms of world title matches, and Owens versus Reigns is the Steiner versus Triple H match. So the big question is, will John Cena make history, and will he become the second ever 16-time World Heavyweight Champion? Will he tie Ric Flair's record? And for a while now, I've said Ric Flair's record should never be broken, let alone tied. But I got a feeling that John Cena will make history. He will tie that record come this Sunday night at the Royal Rumble. And personally, with the promos John Cena's been delivering, how passionate he's been recently, you know, the shit he's talked about on Talking Smack, and the promos he's been cutting on SmackDown Live, I'm going to be honest with you. If he wins the WWE Championship Sunday night at Royal Rumble, I will not have a problem with it. Because I've really been enjoying Cena's work as of late. I've always respected Cena for what he's achieved. And yes, I've rooted against him in the past. I rooted against him at SummerSlam and Money in the Bank because I feel like AJ Styles needed the wins over Cena to solidify himself as a new star, as a new face in the company. But this time, I feel like it's going to go to John Cena. And if it does, I'm totally fine with it. Let John Cena have his moment. Let him break, or not break, but tie Ric Flair's record for 16 World Championships. And Cena goes into WrestleMania as the WWE Champion. So, my prediction is John Cena will win the championship. He will tie Ric Flair's record and become the second ever 16-time world champion in wrestling history. However, based on what AJ Styles had to say, the build up to this match, and especially on Tuesday night during their face-off on SmackDown, where he felt disrespected that on the Today Show they just called him a guy from Atlanta. He's from Gainesville, Georgia. But he felt disrespected. He feels like he doesn't get the credit he deserves, even though he's beaten John Cena twice. He's the WWE champion. He's the face that runs the place. He has something. He has a chip on his shoulder. He has something to prove. He has the most to lose. John Cena doesn't have a lot to lose. If he loses, he loses, but he doesn't lose much. AJ Styles has so much to lose in this match. So I have a feeling that WWE might actually have AJ beat John Cena a 4th time. And this is their 3rd singles match. He's pinned John Cena 3 separate times. I have a feeling WWE could give AJ a 4th pinfall victory over John Cena, which would be insane. That would be insane. If he was the only guy to pin Cena 4 times in a row, it would be insane. Because if AJ does beat John Cena, then he has all right to say he's better than John Cena. John Cena's time is up. John Cena can't beat him. John Cena is not the man he thought he was. If AJ does that, he can brag that he is the true face that runs the place. He is truly better than John Cena. John Cena's had it. He's done. If AJ beats John Cena a 4th time, there's no doubt AJ is better than John Cena. And I already know there are people that believe AJ Styles is a better wrestler than John Cena. So prediction-wise, I'm going with Cena to win. But I believe that WWE could swerve us and have AJ Styles beat John Cena again at the Royal Rumble, retain the WWE Championship, retain it at Elimination Chamber, and go into WrestleMania as the WWE Champion. I have a feeling it can happen. I'd like to see it happen because that'd be great. Because that's something that wouldn't be expected. But my prediction is John Cena to win the WWE Championship and walk out the 2nd ever 16-time world champion. This should be a hell of a match. I loved their SummerSlam match. It was my WWE match of the year for Robbie, in 2016. But I want to see them top with everything on the line in this match, how it's been built. I want to see AJ and Cena top their SummerSlam match and give us an incredible 5-star match at the Royal Rumble. I know they're going to deliver. This should be another incredible match. I wanted to top their SummerSlam match. This is going to be for all the marbles. This has so much on the line. AJ has so much to lose. So it's going to be a freaking awesome match. And it's going to blow everything Raw has to offer out the water. I'm excited. So I'm picking AJ Styles. Well, I'm picking John Cena, I should say, to win. But there's something in me that says maybe AJ Styles could retain the championship and go on to retain it at Elimination Chamber and then ultimately go on to win it or defend it in the main event of WrestleMania. So I picked Cena to win. I love to see AJ retain. Part of me says that could happen, but prediction-wise, I'm going to go with John Cena. And finally, guys, the Royal Rumble match. 30 men, 1 ring, 1 winner, go into WrestleMania and fighting for the World Championship of their respective brand in the main event of WrestleMania. Now, Finn Balor would be the popular choice because a lot of people believe Balor's going to return at the Royal Rumble and win it. He could pull a John Cena like in 2008, come out number 30, and win the whole damn thing. The Undertaker, however, has been a heavy favorite to win the Royal Rumble match because the rumor is, of course, they want to do John Cena versus The Undertaker for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 33. Now, as far as a prediction is concerned, it's hard for me. Okay, this Royal Rumble match has potential. Last year's, of course, with AJ debuting and Triple H beating Roman Reigns for the championship, and of course the whole 1 versus all championship match. Last year's Royal Rumble was an awesome match. This year's Royal Rumble has the potential to top it because when you want to talk about surprise entrance, there's the possibility of Shelton Benjamin returning. There's the possibility of Ty Dillinger entering the Royal Rumble match. And if that happens, he has to beat number 10 and no other number but number 10, the perfect 10 entrant. Samoa Joe will most likely make his debut. With the news that he's going into the Hall of Fame, Kurt Angle might make a surprise appearance in the Royal Rumble match. Shawn Michaels might make a surprise appearance in the Royal Rumble match. And he's part of that 2-hour kickoff. So he might tease it, and he actually might come out around number 28, 29, or 30 and be in the match. Goldberg's in the match. Brock Lesnar's in the match. They're not going to win it. This is mainly for them to go on and build to their match at WrestleMania, which I personally think should happen at freaking Fastlane to get it over with. And then Goldberg and Brock can have fresh opponents for WrestleMania 33. You know, but this is a star-studded Royal Rumble. You know, the New Day is going to be in it. Sami Zayn is going to be in it. Braun Strowman, Chris Jericho, The Big Show, The Miz, Dean Ambrose, Undertaker, Brock, like I said, Goldberg. I don't think Kane's in it, but still, Enzo and Cass are going to be in it. You have a stacked roster in this Royal Rumble match, and I'm really looking forward to what, you know, this match is going to offer. I think with the right booking and everything, this match has the potential to be the best Royal Rumble of the 2010s with everything that's going on. So, like I said, okay, Goldberg and Brock, I don't see them winning. What happening is when Goldberg comes out, he's gonna smash some guys, he's gonna dominate, and then Brock's gonna come right out, and they're gonna go on to win. Like I said, I wish they would have saved Brock's return for the Rumble itself, not mention the fact that he's gonna, you know, not have Paul Heyman come out and mention that he is going to, or that Brock will return in the Rumble, and he's coming after Brock Lesnar. Or Goldberg. I can't even talk right now, excuse me. They should have saved.
Here are some selections. Saved by the Bell. And Saved by the Bell, the college year.
Okay, Siri just went off. I don't know how, but she just went off again. Anyway, they should have saved Brock's return for here. Then it would have been like that, oh shit moment for Goldberg, and they can do their thing and then build up to their match, which will most likely be at WrestleMania, but I would prefer it be at Fastlane. But other than that, guys, as far as who I think is going to be in the Royal Rumble match, or who I think is going to win the Royal Rumble match, okay, I'm not saying Baron Corbin's going to win it, but he's also in the match. And I personally think he should be in the Final Four. He could really benefit from a dominant, strong run in the Royal Rumble match. He makes it to the Final Four, gets eliminated, but that doesn't hurt him at all. That really is the launching point for him to go on and do bigger things in the Royal Rumble. You know, everybody believes, a lot of people believe Taker will win it, and that will ultimately set up for him and John Cena to fight for the title at WrestleMania. This one's kind of hard to predict because there's now this rumor that Randy Orton, who is going to be in the match with Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper, Randy Orton is now rumored to win the Royal Rumble match, and he will go on to face Bray Wyatt for the WWE Championship. I'm assuming Bray, if this happens, knocks off. Obviously, he has to knock off whoever the WWE Champion is at the Chamber. And then, yeah, you know, I saw this rumor. People were bringing it up that Orton's supposed to win the Royal Rumble. Then Bray's supposed to win the championship. And then they're supposed to clash for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. I think what should be done is Wyatt wins the Royal Rumble. Then Orton turns on him. Orton goes on to win the championship. And then you do Orton versus Wyatt for the championship at WrestleMania 33. A heel Brock. Why am I saying Brock Lesnar? A heel. I'm sorry if I'm losing my train of thought, guys. A heel Randy Orton as champion versus a face Bray Wyatt. Because we've been wanting a Bray Wyatt face turn for a while. And we feel like Bray Wyatt could really do big things as a face. So if that rumor's true, what we need is Bray Wyatt to win the Royal Rumble, then Randy Orton and Luke Harper to betray Bray Wyatt, and Luke Harper to ultimately aid Randy Orton to become the WWE Champion, and then we ultimately move on to Orton versus Wyatt for the WWE Championship, with Orton as the champion and the heel versus a face Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 33. That, in my opinion, is the big money match right there, you know, for the WWE Championship. But this one's kind of hard for me to predict because it's not really predictable. Finn Balor may not return in the Royal Rumble match. He may not return and go on and win it. You know, if he does return, then I predict he's going to win it. But if he doesn't return, it could be somebody like maybe Samoa Joe. Holy shit. Imagine Samoa Joe makes his debut in the Rumble. He wins it. That'd be awesome because that's also his main roster debut. It's not like he's been on the main roster for a while and it's predictable he's going to win. You know, Samoa Joe could debut in a Rumble match, make it to the Final Four, and win. That'd be awesome. And then it could be John Cena versus Samoa Joe for the WWE Championship, or AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe for the WWE Championship. Those would be awesome matches for WrestleMania with regards to what SmackDown would offer for their World Championship main event. You know, and then or what if Taker wins it before WrestleMania and then they do Undertaker and Samoa Joe? I know that's kind of like a 1 in a million shot, but so when you think about it, that'd be crazy. See, this one's really hard for me to predict because it could go either way. It could go any way. And this Rumble match isn't really predictable this year. You know, Orton could win it. Wyatt could win it. Balor could return and win it. Undertaker could win it. Samoa Joe could debut and win it. I doubt Kurt Angle would win it. You know, if Kurt Angle does return in the Royal Rumble match, it's going to most likely be to set up a match between him and whoever at WrestleMania. I don't think they'd give the championship to Kurt because I think Kurt would only have like a short return run. So it could go either, you know, that's why I'm excited. With the star power in this Royal Rumble match and the unpredictability, this Royal Rumble has the potential to be one of the best, if not the best Royal Rumble match in recent years of the 2010s. So with regards to a prediction, I'm just going to, let's say Finn Balor doesn't return. Let's say he doesn't return. Because there's a chance he may not, you know. If I had to make a prediction as to who I think will win the 2017 Royal Rumble match, and this is a prediction based on how things look on the show, not based on what I'd like to see. But if I had to make a prediction, because he's the heavy favorite, because he'll most likely wrestle his last match at WrestleMania, and because he's going to most likely face John Cena, I'm going to say The Undertaker wins this. I'm going to predict The Undertaker to win the 2016 Royal Rumble match. Wait, 2017. Why the hell did I say 2016? Oh, God, I apologize, guys. I'm sort of out of it today. But anyway, I predict The Undertaker will win the 2017 Royal Rumble match. Now, does that necessarily mean we have to do Undertaker versus John Cena? Could we do Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt for the WWE Championship? Or Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton? We could do that. We could do Undertaker versus AJ Styles versus John Cena. I know a lot of people wanted to see that match. I predict The Undertaker's going to win it. Because what if Finn Balor doesn't return? You know, why am I going to say Finn Balor's going to win? You know, there's a chance he may return. There's a chance he may not return. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. But I'm just making my prediction based on what if Balor doesn't show up. And the only other guy that I see really winning this is The Undertaker. So my prediction is The Undertaker will win the Royal Rumble match and challenge the WWE Champion at WrestleMania 33, who will most likely be John Cena. But personally, I would love it if it was like Undertaker versus Samoa Joe. Well, no, scratch that. I personally love to see AJ versus Undertaker for the championship. But for now, I'm going with Undertaker to win. This Rumble match should be awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing if any other surprise entrants arrive or appear in this match that I didn't see coming. Is Shaq going to be in this Royal Rumble match? I don't know, because he was in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and you know, Big Show has challenge him to a match at WrestleMania. So we'll see if maybe Shaq makes an appearance. Yeah, I can't really think. I mean, names like Carlito, Mr. Kennedy, MVP have been thrown out. Those would be great names to see as surprise entrants. I don't know if they're going to be there, but we'll see. But as far as my predictions for the Royal Rumble match, I'm predicting The Undertaker's going to win, because if Finn Balor's not going to win it, then Taker is most likely the guy to win it. So I'm going to go with The Undertaker to win the Royal Rumble match and challenge the WWE Champion at WrestleMania. And that, guys, will pretty much do it for my NXT TakeOver San Antonio and WWE Royal Rumble 2017 predictions. Real quick to go through my predictions for NXT TakeOver San Antonio. My predictions are Roderick Strong, Eric Young, #DIY to retain the NXT Tag Team Championships, Asuka to retain the NXT Women's Championship, and the glorious Bobby Roode to win the NXT Championship. And then as far as Royal Rumble predictions are concerned, my predictions are Nia Jax, Cesaro, and Sheamus to retain the Raw Tag Team Championships, Neville to win the Cruiserweight Championship and become and solidify himself as King of the Cruiserweights, Charlotte to retain the Raw Women's Championship, Team Natalya to win the 6-woman tag team match, Roman Reigns to win the WWE Universal Championship, John Cena to win the WWE Championship, and Undertaker to win the Royal Rumble match. So thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. Of course, make sure to like. If you like this video, make sure to click that thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. Please share this video with your friends. Leave your predictions down below for NXT TakeOver San Antonio and for the Royal Rumble. Who do you see winning? Who do you see entering the match as a surprise entrant? And if you don't predict Undertaker or Finn Balor, do you predict somebody that we don't expect to win the Royal Rumble, like maybe a Samoa Joe or Kurt Angle? I know that's very unlikely. I'm just throwing it out there. But yeah, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. You know the drill. Thanks for watching and listening. Survivor One Kenobi signing off. Everybody have a good night. Enjoy Royal Rumble weekend. Enjoy WrestleMania. Enjoy NXT TakeOver San Antonio, and enjoy Royal Rumble, of course. We are officially on the road to WrestleMania this weekend, guys. So let's hope it's a good one. Thanks for watching and listening. I'll see y'all later.